All right, listen up because this is important. We live in a world where everyone is watching, listening, and scrolling. Social media has made oversharing the norm. We post our wins, our failures, our relationships, our struggles, sometimes even before we've figured things out ourselves. And then what happens? We wonder why we feel exposed. We wonder why people have opinions about our lives. Let me tell you something, privacy is power. Not everyone is for you. And that's a truth that most people learn the hard way. We grow up believing that the people around us, family, friends, coworkers, even the ones who claim to love us automatically have our best interests at heart. But life quickly teaches us otherwise. Some people cheer for you only when you're struggling because it makes them feel better about their own lives. Some stick around, not out of genuine support, but out of curiosity. And then there are those who will act like your biggest supporters, only to turn around and use your words, your vulnerabilities, or your dreams against you. Oversharing can be dangerous because not everyone listening to you actually wants you to succeed. Have you ever noticed how some people's energy changes when you start talking about your goals? Maybe their smile fades just a little, or they quickly change the subject. Maybe they hit you with a backhanded compliment like, "Oh, that's great for you." But don't get your hopes up. Or worse, they pretend to support you but secretly hope you fail so they can feel better about themselves. This is human nature. Some people simply don't want you to outgrow them. They are comfortable with the version of you that they've always known, the one who wasn't as confident, as ambitious, or as successful. The moment you start evolving, you become a mirror reflecting their own insecurities back at them. And that makes them uncomfortable. Instead of celebrating your growth, they start questioning it, doubting it, or even trying to sabotage it. Think about a time when you shared something exciting with someone only to feel deflated afterward. Maybe they didn't react the way you expected. Maybe they questioned whether your goal was realistic. Maybe they reminded you of your past failures instead of encouraging your future success. That's because not everyone clapping for you is actually happy for you. Some people just want a front row seat to your struggles so they can later say, "I knew it wouldn't work." This is why being selective about what you share and who you share it with is crucial. Your dreams, your plans, your struggles, these are sacred. Not everyone deserves access to them. When you give people too much insight into your personal life, you also give them the power to judge, criticize, or manipulate you. The less they know, the less they can interfere. Social media makes this even trickier. We're conditioned to share everything: our wins, our losses, our personal struggles, our relationships, our ambitions. But here's the truth. The more you put out there, the more opinions you invite. And not all opinions come from a good place. Some people will act like they care, but deep down they're collecting information, waiting for the moment they can use it against you. Protecting your energy means being mindful of who you allow into your inner world. It means recognizing that not everyone listening has good intentions. It means understanding that some things are meant to be kept private until they are strong enough to stand on their own. The most successful people don't announce every move before it happens. They work in silence, build in private, and let their results speak for them. At the end of the day, not everyone is for you. And the sooner you accept that, the more power you take back over your own life. Success happens in silence because the world is full of noise, opinions, distractions, and unnecessary criticism. When you start talking about your goals too early, you invite outside voices into something that should be personal and protected. The problem is that not everyone will understand your vision, and when you expose it too soon, you risk letting doubt and negativity creep in. You might think that sharing your plans will bring you support, but often it does the opposite. People start questioning your abilities, pointing out the obstacles, or even unintentionally planting seeds of doubt in your mind. Some of the most powerful moves are made behind closed doors. Think about the most successful people you admire. They don't broadcast every step before they take it. They work in private, building momentum, and when they finally reveal their achievements, it seems like they came out of nowhere. But that's not true. They were just smart enough to keep their progress out of the spotlight until it was undeniable. When you announce your plans too soon, you create unnecessary pressure. Suddenly, people are watching, waiting for results, and sometimes even hoping you fail. The moment you declare a big goal, you give people permission to critique it. They might not say it to your face, but they'll have opinions. Some will doubt you, some will downplay your ambition, and others will silently compare their own progress to yours. And if things don't go as planned right away, you'll feel like you're letting everyone down, even though the journey was always meant to be yours alone. The strongest relationships, the biggest business deals, and the most groundbreaking ideas are often developed in silence. That's because growth requires a safe space, one free from outside interference. When you keep your goals private, you protect them. You give yourself the time and space to make mistakes, adjust your strategy, and build something solid without outside pressure. You allow yourself to fully commit to the work instead of worrying about how it looks to others. There's also a psychological benefit to keeping your moves to yourself. When you talk about your plans too much, your brain gets tricked into feeling like you've already accomplished something. That little dopamine hit from sharing your dreams makes you feel like you're progressing, even when no real action has been taken. That's why so many people announce big plans but never follow through. They get stuck in the excitement of talking instead of doing. On the other hand, when you move in silence, every step forward is real. There's no false sense of accomplishment, no unnecessary validation seeking. You stay focused on the actual work, not on getting applause before the results are in. And when you do finally achieve what you set out to do, the impact is greater because people see the results, not just the effort. Silence also protects your energy. When you don't reveal every detail of your journey, you don't have to deal with unwanted opinions, skepticism, or distractions. You can focus on your work without external negativity clouding your mind. You're not performing for an audience, you're growing for yourself. And that kind of growth is the most powerful because it's real, unfiltered, and driven by your own internal motivation rather than the need for approval. The truth is, not every move needs an announcement. Not every plan needs an audience. The people who succeed at the highest level understand this. They know that progress happens when you block out the noise and commit fully to the process, not the performance. The world doesn't need to see every step of your journey. Let them see the transformation instead. Pausing before you post is one of the most powerful habits you can develop in a world where everyone is eager to share every detail of their lives. The urge to post something the moment it happens is strong because social media has conditioned us to seek validation. We post achievements to get praise, struggles to get sympathy, and thoughts to get engagement. But the question you need to ask yourself before you hit post is this actually helping me? Or am I just seeking validation? When you post in search of validation, you give away your power. You allow strangers, acquaintances, and even people who don't have your best interests at heart to weigh in on your life. And once that happens, you can't control how your words are received. Some people will genuinely support you, but others will judge, misunderstand, or even use your vulnerability against you. You might not realize it in the moment, but every time you share something personal or important, you are opening yourself up to opinions that may not serve you. There is also a danger in oversharing when emotions are running high. How many times have you vented online only to regret it later? In the heat of the moment, posting can feel like a release, a way to express your frustration, sadness, or excitement. But emotions are temporary, while posts can last forever. Once something is out there, it's out of your control. Even if you delete it, someone may have already seen it, screenshotted it, or formed an opinion about you based on it. Pausing before you post also helps you maintain control over your personal life. The more you put out there, the more people feel entitled to comment on it. If you constantly share details about your goals, your relationships, or your struggles, you create an expectation that people are allowed to weigh in. And when people start giving unsolicited advice or criticism, it can shake your confidence and make you second-guess your own decisions. Some things are meant to be private because privacy protects peace. Another reason to pause before posting is that once you share something, it can affect your future opportunities in ways you don't expect. Employers, business partners, and even potential relationships look at online presence as a reflection of who you are. A post that feels harmless today might be something you regret in the future when seen in a different context. Many people have lost opportunities, damaged relationships, or harmed their reputations because they didn't take a moment to think before they shared something online. The best way to protect yourself is to develop the habit of waiting before you post. If you feel the urge to share something, step away for a few minutes and ask yourself why you're doing it. Are you looking for external approval? Are you trying to prove something? Are you making a long-term decision based on a short-term feeling? If the answer to any of these is yes, reconsider whether you really need to post it. There is incredible strength in restraint. Keeping certain aspects of your life private gives you a sense of control, inner confidence, and peace. You don't need to announce every move, share every struggle, or broadcast every success. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let people wonder, let them assume, and let them see the results instead of the process. Protecting your energy is one of the most important things you can do for your peace, growth, and success. Every interaction you have, every conversation, every social media post, every moment spent explaining yourself either adds to your energy or drains it. The people you allow access to your thoughts, plans, and emotions have a direct impact on your mindset and motivation. Not everyone deserves that kind of influence over you. When you share too much with the wrong people, you open yourself up to negativity, doubt, and unnecessary stress. Some people don't genuinely support you, they just like knowing what's going on in your life. They pretend to care, but deep down they are either indifferent, competitive, or even rooting for you to struggle. You've probably experienced this before, telling someone your goals, expecting encouragement, and instead getting skepticism or subtle discouragement. That's because not everyone sees life the way you do. Some people project their own fears, insecurities, and failures onto you. If they don't believe in themselves, they won't believe in you either. There are also people who will use what you share against you. The more someone knows about you, the more power they have to manipulate, judge, or criticize you. If you tell people about your plans before they've fully developed, they might question your choices, plant seeds of doubt, or even spread negativity behind your back. That's why the most successful and confident people are selective about who they let into their inner world. They don't share everything with everyone because they understand that their energy is too valuable to be influenced by the wrong people. Your energy is your greatest asset, and where you direct it determines the quality of your life. If you spend time defending your dreams, explaining yourself to people who don't get it, or trying to convince others to see your vision, you waste energy that could have been used to build, create, and grow. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your goals, your choices, or your goal path. The moment you stop seeking approval, you free yourself from the emotional exhaustion of trying to please others. One of the best ways to protect your energy is to be intentional about who you surround yourself with. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do they uplift you or drain you? Do they encourage you or make you question yourself? Do they celebrate your success or subtly downplay it? The answers to these questions will tell you who truly belongs in your life. If someone consistently makes you feel doubtful, anxious, or exhausted, that's a sign they don't deserve access to your thoughts and plans. Social media has made it even more important to guard your energy. The more you share online, the more opinions you invite. Strangers, acquaintances, and even people you barely know suddenly feel entitled to comment on your life. If you let their words affect you, you give them control over your emotions. That's why it's crucial to be mindful of what you put out there. Not every moment needs to be shared, not every success needs to be announced, and not every struggle needs to be public. The strongest people know when to stay silent, when to walk away, and when to keep their energy focused on what truly matters. When you protect your energy, you give yourself the space to grow, think clearly, and pursue your goals without distraction. The more selective you are about who and what you allow into your mental and emotional space, the more power you take back over your life. Moving without an audience is one of the most underrated keys to success. In a world where people feel the need to share every step of their journey, keeping your progress private gives you a strategic advantage. When you announce your moves too soon, you invite unnecessary pressure, distractions, and outside opinions that can derail your focus. The people who achieve the most don't waste time seeking approval. They put their heads down, do the work, and let the results speak for themselves. One of the biggest dangers of making your plans public too early is that it creates a false sense of accomplishment. When you tell people what you're going to do, their encouragement or reactions can trick your brain into feeling like you've already achieved something. This temporary boost of confidence can be dangerous because it takes away the urgency to act. Instead of putting in the real effort, you get stuck in the excitement of talking about your dreams rather than building them. The most successful people understand this psychological trap and choose to move in silence. Another reason to keep your plans private is that not everyone will support you. Some people, even those closest to you, might feel threatened by your ambition. They might try to discourage you, not always out of malice, but because your growth forces them to reflect on their own lack of progress. Their doubts, fears, and limitations can seep into your mindset if you're not careful. Instead of letting their negativity influence your confidence, protect your dreams by keeping them to yourself until they are strong enough to withstand outside opinions. There's also a practical advantage to working in silence. When you share too much, too soon, you set expectations that you might not be ready to meet. Plans change, challenges arise, and sometimes what you initially envisioned evolves into something completely different. If you've already announced your intentions, you might feel pressured to stick to them even when a better opportunity or strategy presents itself. By keeping your moves private, you allow yourself the flexibility to adapt without feeling the weight of public expectations. Moving in silence also minimizes distractions. The more people know about what you're doing, the more questions, unsolicited advice, and opinions you have to deal with. Everyone will have something to say, whether it's their approval, skepticism, or suggestions on how you should do things differently. This constant noise can make it harder to trust your own instincts. When you operate without an audience, you free yourself from the need to explain, justify, or defend your choices. You stay focused on what actually matters, doing the work. There's a reason why the biggest successes often seem to happen overnight. The truth is, they don't. The people behind them have been grinding for months or years, refining their craft, testing strategies, and overcoming setbacks, all in private. Then, when they finally step into the spotlight, they are fully prepared. Their results are undeniable. And there's no need to explain how they got there. That's the power of moving without an audience. When you prioritize action over announcement, you gain a level of control that most people don't have. You are no longer seeking validation, external motivation, or approval. You are driven by your own vision and internal discipline. The less you broadcast your steps, the more you can focus on perfecting them. And when the time is right, your success will speak louder than any announcement ever could. Privacy is self-respect because it allows you to maintain control over your life, emotions, and decisions. When you keep certain aspects of your journey to yourself, you create a boundary that protects your peace, focus, and confidence. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, choosing to be private is an act of power. It means you are not seeking validation, you are not explaining yourself to those who don't deserve an explanation, and you are not giving people the ability to judge or interfere with your life. There is a misconception that keeping things private means you are hiding something, but the truth is, privacy is about maintaining control over what parts of your life you allow others to have access to. Not everyone needs to know your struggles, your plans, or even your victories. Some moments are sacred, and sharing them too freely can diminish their significance. When you respect your own privacy, you make it clear that your life is not an open book for everyone to read and critique. The less people know about your personal business, the less they can interfere. The more you reveal, the more opinions, judgments, and expectations you invite. Even well-meaning advice can sometimes create doubt or pressure that wasn't there before. When you keep things to yourself, you eliminate unnecessary distractions and protect your ability to make decisions based on what truly feels right for you, not based on the influence of others. Privacy also allows you to move without resistance. When people don't know what you are working on, they can't discourage you, they can't sabotage you, and they can't try to steer you in a different direction. Many dreams have been crushed not because they were impossible, but because they were shared with the wrong people too soon. The strongest individuals understand that silence is a strategy and that revealing too much too early can bring unnecessary obstacles. There is also a psychological benefit to keeping things private. When you don't feel the need to share everything, you reduce stress and anxiety that come from external expectations. You are no longer performing for an audience. You don't have to constantly update people on your progress or worry about what they think. You free yourself from the exhausting cycle of seeking approval and focus entirely on the process of growing, learning, and achieving on your own terms. Social media has made privacy even more valuable. The more you post about your life, the more people feel entitled to comment on it. Strangers, acquaintances, and even those close to you may start forming opinions, giving unsolicited advice, or making assumptions based on what little they see. But no one truly understands the full picture of your life except you. By maintaining privacy, you take back control over your own narrative. You decide what is important, what is worth sharing, and what is meant to be kept for yourself. Privacy is also a sign of self-worth. When you choose to keep certain things to yourself, you are telling the world that your thoughts, emotions, and plans are valuable. You don't need validation or permission from others to pursue your goals. You trust yourself enough to move forward without broadcasting every step. That level of confidence is rare, and it is one of the key traits of truly successful and fulfilled people. In every aspect of life, relationships, business, personal growth, privacy is a form of self-respect. It is a way of protecting your energy, your peace, and your progress. The less people know, the more they assume, and the less they can interfere. Your life is yours alone, and choosing to keep parts of it private is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Your life is not a reality show for public consumption. Privacy isn't secrecy, it's self-respect. So today, take your power back. Keep your next move to yourself. Let people see the results, not the process. Because the less they know, the less they can interfere. Let's go.